wrong. Because how many people in this room use data? So imagine if you had a dashboard, it's going to have a better product, and everybody's going to be a lot happier. Does anyone like AI? Does anyone use AI? So part of what we're going to talk about just briefly is building a healthy AI and data culture. How many people in this room have played around with AI, but it ends up turning out to be just some bright and shiny thing, but it doesn't really serve the purpose that you wanted it to? Can anybody relate to that? There you go. So one of the things that Roman says is that I am the data evangelist. But don't worry, I'm not going to make you say amen after everything I say. And I'm not going to go to the tables, can I talk to you about data? Can I talk to you about data? But it's very important, and one of the things that I think is missing when it comes to data, because how many people in this room use data? If you didn't raise your hand, you should, because you did, right? So the other thing is, I'm going to be very brief. This subject matter, actually this subject material, I'm available to talk if you want to have a phone call, or if you have clients and you want me to talk, to them, or so on and so on. I think the most important thing to start with is everyone understands that you need to use data, but the problem is, how do you actually use it to its fullest extent, right? And what I found is that there's a lot of companies that use data. You've got finance that have spreadsheets, you've got marketing that's got Google Analytics, you've got this department that does that, but the people at the top don't have a view of the entire organization. And that's usually a result of a bad data culture. It starts at the top. So it has to start with the leaders at the very top of the organization, and then you have to start working through each department to help, do training, let them understand, because a lot of times when you bring data into a department, the first thing you hear is the data is wrong, right? Well, it's not always the case. Maybe the data was wrong, and you got to understand that you didn't pull this or you need to pull that. You have to have a conversation about the process or whatever, but the data doesn't lie. Matter of fact, I have a shirt that says without data, it's just somebody else's opinion. Right? So what is the benefit of a healthy data culture? Better decision making, increased efficiency, and improved customer experience. I could stop right there, and you should be convinced that you should use data, right? So for example, we'll use data. We have, a lot of computers that we manage, and we'll use data to find out which companies have the highest amount of tickets or the highest amount of time that we're spending on issues. And then from there, we can find out what piece of equipment is causing the problem. And then we can identify, basically the noise and make the noise go away. Or if it's a user, we can identify this user's putting in a lot of tickets, but maybe it's a training issue, or maybe they're using an old computer and it's costing everybody time, right? So the most important thing is training and vision on the top. And you can see everything else that, in it. And actually empowers employees, and also it allows you to set up KPIs for employees so you can hold people accountable, right? That's a very important thing. But if, it's fair, right? I'm getting paid to work and I have a certain output. So it should be fair that I can be measured on what I do, but it's also fair to the employee because the expectations are clear, right? So I highly encourage you, if you want, call me up or, we'll talk more, but I highly encourage you to really give some thought to how healthy your data culture is. My experience, there's not very many companies that have a healthy data culture, right? And then now they're buying AI, but the AI is doing this department doesn't know what's going on with, with this, and so on and so on. You end up basically doing what's the Next slide. The infamous data silos. Does anyone know what a data silo is? So if you don't, let me explain it. You've got, say it's a nonprofit organization and they have members. And so, you know, they're trying to serve the community, and the more members they have, the more people they can serve, so on and so on. But you got marketing doing one thing. And then you got membership doing something else. Then you got finance with some other data. But you don't know the cause and effect between all of those different departments. One of the biggest reasons is because you got this system that gives you data here, this system that gives you data there, this system that gives you data there, and so it's completely siloed. And so what's happening now is the technology is there using AI, automation, and other things, that the technology is there to remove the data silo. So imagine if you had a dashboard that now can tell you marketing did this and membership did that. Or they did this and the membership went down, right? And so if you have a holistic picture of your entire organization, then you're going to have better decision making, and it's going to have a better product, and everybody's going to be a lot happier, because data silos also cause a lot of finger pointing. This department, oh, we did this. Well, you know, no, you didn't. So anyway, so it's a lack of collaboration, insufficient data literacy. That's where the training comes in. Inadequate training, limited AI integration, resistance to change. That's a big one that goes back to the data culture, and fragmented data systems. So if anyone can relate to anything that I said, feel free to reach out and we'll talk further. But I'm sure everyone's probably ready for food and drink, so I'm going to keep it at that at a high level.